Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the day shift. It's your girl, Paulette, and I am a part of Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide Studios. And let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking about some things that are in the news that you need to be aware of, including the shooting that occurred yesterday. We're also going to be talking about a couple of things that are happening in the Brownstone that you need to be aware of as we're getting closer and closer and closer to those particular days. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start you off, of course, with the news and information that you can use from our very own Alan Edwards.
Airports and bus and train stations across Germany were at a standstill on Monday, causing disruption for millions of people during one of the largest walkouts in decades in Europe's biggest economy, as soaring
To get right back into it, and we're going to be talking about all of the things that you need to know happening here in the Brownstone. I'm going to try that again because I need y'all to hear that. Okay, so we're gonna do it again and get right back into it. So there I am. You know what, technical things happen, but we're gonna jump right back into it. Let's try this again.
Airports and bus and train stations across Germany were at a standstill on Monday, causing disruption for millions of people during one of the largest walkouts in decades in Europe's biggest economy, as soaring inflation stokes wage demands.
The 24-hour warning strikes called by the Verdi Union and Railway and Transport Union EVG were the latest in months of industrial action, which has hit major European economies as higher food and energy prices dent living standards. Nancy Kyle reporting.
A female shooter wielding 2 assault-style rifles and a pistol killed 3 students and 3 adults at a private Christian school in Nashville on Monday, authorities said. The suspect also died after being shot by police.
The violence occurred at the Covenant School, a Presbyterian school for about 200 students from preschool through 6th grade. The killings come as communities around the nation are reeling from a spate of school violence, including the massacre at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, last year, a first grader who shot his teacher in Virginia, and a shooting last week in Denver that wounded 2 administrators. Davis Richards reporting.
Massive crowds filled the streets of the Israeli city of Tel Aviv late Sunday night after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu fired his defense minister over opposition to a planned judicial overhaul.
Protesters lit several fires on the main highway in Tel Aviv, their acrid, black smoke billowing into the sky, partly obscuring some of the city's iconic skyscrapers. Demonstrators also gathered beside the highway, burning scrap metal and wood with almost no police around. Libby St. James reporting.
North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles into the sea off its coast on Monday morning, South Korea's military said. The latest in a series of launches as a U.S. aircraft carrier is set to arrive in South Korea.
The missiles were fired from North Gyeonggi province at 7:47 a.m. Monday's launches came as the U.S. aircraft carrier USS Nimitz and ships from its accompanying strike group are scheduled to dock at a South Korean naval base in the southeastern port city of Busan on Tuesday. Guy Davis reporting.
This is the latest news headlines. Some parts of Twitter Incorporated source code has been leaked, and the social media platform owned by billionaire Elon Musk is seeking information on the person responsible, a legal filing showed. According to the filing, various excerpts of Twitter source code, which is used to run the company online, was posted on GitHub, a Microsoft-owned platform for sharing code for software development, by the user named Free Speech Enthusiast. 6 people, including 5 children, were killed and 1 woman was injured in a car crash on Interstate 24 in Tennessee early Sunday morning. A total of 4 advanced life support ambulances responded to the scene and 1 helicopter air ambulance, the release said. Initial arriving units worked quickly to search for, assess, and triage the total of 9 patients involved. The driver of one of the vehicles involved in the accident was not injured, according to the release. A Delta Airlines passenger was arrested after opening one of the plane's doors and sliding down an emergency exit slide as the plane prepared for takeoff from Los Angeles to Seattle Saturday, officials said. The incident on Delta Flight 1714 took place around 10:40 a.m. local time, while the plane was stationary at the Los Angeles International Airport, according to the Federal Aviation Administration. The slopes are open for summer, at least in California. Several California ski resorts have announced that they have received so much snow that they plan to stay open well into the summer months. Mammoth Mountain, a popular 4-season resort located in eastern Sierra Mountains, announced earlier last week it would be open for skiing for at least until July. This is the earliest in the year the resort has ever announced it would be open so late, Communications Director Lauren Burke stated. And that's the latest news headlines. I'm Alan Edwards.
All right, you guys. Thanks so much for taking a listen to the news and information that you can use from KCCR Radio, the podcast app. That was Alan Edwards. And he gives you the news and information that you can use throughout your listening workday on, of course, KCCR Radio, the Brownstone podcast streaming app. You can go ahead and download it at iOS or Android devices, and you can also check it out on Alexa and Google Echo as well. So you can definitely say play the Brownstone and it will do that for you. Okay. You can also take a listen on kccrthebrownstone.com. All right, folks, something new that we're going to be doing today before we get started is we're going to be doing some shout outs for you all. I think it's important for you all to understand that we literally do pay attention to who's paying attention to us. And I think that that's pretty cool. So let's talk about who some of our biggest shout outs are for today. We literally can tell where you're listening or where you are watching from. So big shout out to, of course, why am I surprised? Atlanta, Georgia. You guys are listening. You're listening the longest. You're listening to KCCR the most throughout the day for the past 7 days. So big shout out to you guys. A close second to Atlanta, Georgia is, y'all ready for this? Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga, Tennessee is in the building. And so we definitely wanted to give you guys a shout out. So shout out to you guys for listening in and watching and paying attention to all of the content that we have that's happening. And big shout out to those of you all who are watching and paying attention to us on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube page as well. That is so important for us because as we continue to grow, those numbers tell us where you are, who you are, and how we can better serve you with the news and information that we provide to this community. So big shout out to you guys. Now, in terms of our busiest cities that are paying attention this week, y'all, we got some countries that are on here that stay on here. Like I'm thrown off by it, but I am grateful for it as well. And we want to definitely give a big shout out to, y'all ready for this? Germany. Yeah, Germany is one. There is a country I cannot pronounce. It's Savart. Savart. So we wanted to definitely give a shout out to you guys. Big shout out to those of you all in Canada, and a huge shout out to you guys who are in Portugal, who are listening, you're watching, you're paying attention, and you're downloading the KCCR Brownstone Living app. And you're listening into the topics and things of that nature that we are bringing to you all. So if you all missed any of the shows, you can always go ahead and you can head over to the YouTube page and you can go to Brownstone Worldwide because it's everything, all Brownstone Worldwide. You want to go to TikTok, you want to go to Instagram, you want to go to Facebook, if you want to go to all of the things and find us in terms of our social media and follow us, all you have to do is search for Brownstone Worldwide and we pop right up. Okay. So big thank you to those of you all who are listening and paying attention. Here's what I would like for you all to do. If you are watching or paying attention to this particular podcast right now, most definitely go ahead and like, comment, and share. Let us know that you're here. And also, if you're watching the replay, let us know that you're watching the replay as well. Now, up next, after this particular show, we have Dr. Michelle Josie with her special guest, Atia Brown, who is the owner of The Savvy Accountant. In this particular episode, women are making history. Check this out. And Atia Brown, who is a accountant, a CPA, is going to be giving us tax tips. And she's someone who absolutely knows her numbers. The name of Dr. Michelle Josie's show is Numbers Don't Lie. You do not want to miss this particular show, especially with tax season coming to an end in the next couple of weeks. You don't want to miss that. Now, in terms of a couple of weeks, let's also talk about the fact that we have a summit that is coming up, and it is called the Power of Prosperity Legacy Summit. Now, this event is designed to help you take control of your financial future while building a legacy for yourself and for your children. If you want to be on the waiting list for this particular event, here's what I need you to do. Is you need to get in touch with none other than the Nicole Johnson of Girl, Your Money Matters, the podcast show that airs on KCCR, the Brownstone, and also BWTV on brownstoneworldwide.com. All you got to do is go to bit.ly/Legacy Summit GYMM for Girl, Your Money Matters. She's going to get you into the gym and make sure that your finances are financially fit. That's her job. And y'all, she's good at it. So make sure that you are reaching out and becoming a part of the waiting list. There are going to be some communications to let you know when and where this particular event is going to be happening. It is a free event, but we do have a VIP day where you will be able to join us in a private group so that you can get additional tips, additional things that the general public will not have access to. All right, we've gotten that out of the way. We've done our shout outs. We've done a couple of other things to kind of let you guys know what's happening in the Brownstone today. I'll come back and I'll share a little bit more with you all in regards to what's happening in the Brownstone. But I wanted to jump right into the topic of the day. We don't want to leave this day without sharing with you all what we know. The first thing that we want to do is share this with you. I'm going to give you a warning now. If you are triggered, if you suffer from PTSD or any of the things, I would suggest that you close out this particular broadcast at this point. We do not want to impact any undue mental stress to anyone. However, we do feel it a responsibility to share this information with you and also some of the responses.
Police have released new surveillance video that shows how the 28-year-old Nashville school shooter entered the Covenant School, eventually killing 3 kids and 3 adults. The suspect, Audrey Hale, was first captured on camera driving a gray Honda Fit into the school's parking lot. Video then captures the shooter blasting rounds through the side door of a school, shattering the glass and triggering an alarm. The shooter enters and is seen wandering through empty halls, holding what looks to be an AR-style rifle. At one point, video captures the armed shooter walking past the children's ministry room. Metro Nashville police say the suspect had at least 2 AR-style rifles and a handgun. At least 2 of those weapons were legally obtained. Police say they have also recovered detailed maps of the school layout that identified entry points and a manifesto. They add that the shooter once attended the private Christian school. Police have identified the shooter as transgender. Many hard-right personalities have already weaponized this detail as a part of their ongoing attack on the community.
Here's what we need to know about that particular individual. Not only, listen closely, folks, not only did this individual show up at the school and you saw the video there of what she did. Not only did she do that, y'all, she cased the joint. She cased the joint. I need you all to hear me. She did an overall review of what the facility looked like. Here's what you need to know. And this comes from brownstoneworldwide.com. Now, according to the police, a person who used to study in a Christian elementary school meticulously planned and attacked the place on Monday, killing 3 children and 3 adults. The attacker had created a detailed map and monitored the building before carrying out this particular act. So this recent shooting is an incident that happened at the Covenant School in Nashville and is one among many other mass shootings that have left the country anxious about violence in educational institutions. Now, among those affected were 3 9-year-old children, the highest ranking official of the school, a substitute teacher, and a custodian. In the midst of the disorder, a customary ceremony occurred where alarmed parents hurried to the school to verify their children's safety and embrace them with tears, while the bewildered community organized vigils for the casualties. Metropolitan Nashville Police Chief John Drake stated during various news conferences that upon watching the evacuation of the building along with the children, he was emotionally affected to the point of shedding tears. The usage of the term literally indicated a strong emotional response. The police did not provide clear details about the shooter's gender, who was reportedly shot and killed by 2 police officers on duty at the school. Audrey Hale was identified by police as the shooter after hours of being initially identified as a 28-year-old woman. During a press conference held in the late afternoon, the police chief disclosed that Hale identified as transgender. Police spokesperson Don Aaron declined to provide further information on how Hale is currently identified during the news conference. Drake, when questioned by reporters, did not provide a definite reason, but instead presented alarming instances of the assailant's premeditation for the focused assault. He said that they were going over some writings related to the incident on this date, and they actually have a manifesto. So he stated, we have a map outlining how this was going to happen. And so during an interview with the news, he stated that investigators hold the belief that Hale had some resentment for having to go to the school. So we will be saying their names later, the names of these unfortunate children who have lost their lives, and for those teachers and the custodian. At the church where families found their children, Rachel Dibble recounted that everyone was in a state of complete shock. And so here we are, again, talking about another shooting. I want to share with you what some people are saying. Again, if this is not for you, if you believe that this is just a little too strong for your ears, I do encourage you, this is a disclaimer, I do encourage you to take some time to remove yourself from this broadcast.
Oh, I got a great idea. While you're sitting in Washington, looking out for my safety and trying to stop TikTok and ban TikTok, where the hell were all you guys down in Nashville while another gun shooting goes off and a bunch of little 9-year-olds want to go get killed? Where were you then? Were you looking out for their safety? How many more kids gotta get killed in this country before you arm the goddamn teachers, put cops in front of every goddamn school, teach the teachers how to shoot back? How do you take out a bad guy with a gun? You put a gun in a good person's hands. This is disgusting. So while you're done dicking around in Washington to try to stop this post from educating people that we need, and by the way, I'm not against people arming themselves. People should have the right to protect themselves. But we also should have the right to protect our children, that they can go to school and know that they're safe. And that's all I got to say about that. Do something about it. Midnight, I'm out.
He's angry, and he should be, just like all of us should be. And he brought up an excellent point. We're talking about our children's safety when our children, while they are in school, where they should be protected, are being gunned down. Let's find out what another parent had to say.
Aren't you guys tired of being here and having to cover all of these mass shootings? I'm from Highland Park, Illinois. My son and I survived a mass shooting over the summer. I am in Tennessee on a family vacation with my son, visiting my sister-in-law. I have been lobbying in D.C. since we survived a mass shooting in July. I have met with over 130 lawmakers. How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws. And these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers step up and pass gun safety legislation.
That's it. That's it. She said it better than I ever could. So there's a lot more to this story, I am sure, that is going to come out. But what I want you guys to understand is is that this is serious. It's been serious. It never was not serious. And one of the things that continues to boggle my mind is we're concerned about our children's safety. However, we still have a propensity to be concerned with social media platforms and who has our data. And our children are being taken out right before our very eyes. We don't want to talk about the real legislation because somebody is still in the lawmakers' pockets. See, now we're not stupid. It is clear what's going on. If we can't afford to put the money in your pocket, then our voices are not heard. You see. Now, if you want to take me to the bank on that, I encourage you and I challenge you to challenge your lawmakers and your senators and your governors and your president to get behind a bill on gun control. This country should not be still dealing with this in 2023. And it continues to be rampant. You can expect every 30 to 40 days, there's going to be something violent that we're going to hear about. And then there's going to be the press. And then there's going to be people like me who are going to do shows on it. And then there's going to be the TikToks and the Instagrams and all of the posts on Facebook and all of the other social media platforms that are out there. And then we're going to be right back where we were because somebody is in y'all's pockets. Because if they were not, and if they were really for the people, guess what we would have? A gun control bill. Period. Absolutely, period. It would be a shutdown, boom, just that fast. If you gave a damn, if you really, really cared. So now I am watching all on Instagram and TikTok today, parents that are literally like, nope, I'm homeschooling. That's it for me. Nope, I'm homeschooling. Teachers that are leaving the industry en masse, not only because of poor experiences with the students who are seemingly less controlled than they were years ago. Teachers are leaving en masse because of poor pay, poor treatment by parents, poor treatment by the students. They're also leaving because they want to live. They want to live and they're not being given much choice. And there are so many people that I know who are still teachers who are considering for their mental health getting out. So how do we get to the point where we are able to do what we need to do, which is get gun control in this country that benefits everybody, while we are concerned about a young woman or a young girl, a baby, getting her first period and not being able to talk about it at school, while we are policing Black women's hair and having to do things like sign the Crown Act into existence in Mississippi and speaking before your legislatures in Texas about the right for me to wear my hair the way God had it grow out of my damn head. Help me to understand why this is an issue. Why do we care? And why is it an issue for us to even be having this conversation? I don't care what the gender was of the person that did it, transgender, new gender, whatever gender. They shot up a school, period. And it was without fact, with true fact, it was planned. It was planned, y'all. She planned it. She planned this. She knew exactly where to go. So now we have to make some decisions on what we're going to do with our babies. And I got some that are still in school. I have a 16-year-old son that's in school right now. I have a granddaughter. She's in school right now. So what do we do? Who do we push? What buttons do we push? And here's something else. I keep telling y'all when I'm on TikTok, I tell you one thing: get out and vote. Get out and vote. We worried about the wrong thing, folks. I promise you, we worried about the wrong thing in this country. We need to sweep around our front door first, and we need to identify that we have an issue with violence in this country. And somehow somebody's palms keep getting greased because things like this and police reform continue to keep getting pushed to the back. The George Floyd bill, where is it at? Anybody heard about it? Police reform? Anybody heard about it? Where is it? But yet and still, we can have an entire inquisition done by Congress on TikTok and its safety. This country is off the freaking chain. And I need somebody to help me understand what is going on. And before people come for me, I need you all to understand I was born here, raised here in this country. I was born and raised in this country and raised with the belief system instilled in me that I had to work 150 times harder than any white woman ever would in order for me to even get half of what she was going to get. Now let that sink in. Let that sink in. My parents didn't lie. She didn't lie. My daddy didn't lie. It's the truth. It's the truth. I experienced it all the time. When I was in corporate, experienced it all the time. I was dumb. I was an idiot. You didn't have to say it to me. You didn't have to say it to me, but it was how you treated me that let me know you didn't think much of me, even when the communication was poor on your part. And I only did what you asked me to do. That goes for any job that I was ever on. So I am thrown off at this country and how we are making things that are not a serious issue a serious issue. When we got bigger things, we got bigger fish to fry. Come to find out, the FBI did what? They have never submitted to Congress any information about TikTok being a security issue. So how do we end up here? And we have children that are losing their lives because guns continue to keep ending up in our schools. We have not taught our teachers and our staffs that are in the school how to arm themselves and protect themselves and those babies. We haven't done it. How did this happen again? Y'all better get out and vote. That's all I got. Now let's get back into some more news and information that you can use. Whew, I just had to get that off my chest. But you know, this is what you're going to get when you get the day shift. You're going to get my feedback. You're going to get wow. All right. They created maps, y'all. So let's talk about this one. I need you all to hear me on this one as well. I need you to like, comment, and share because this one is going to blow your mind. So again, I'm headed back over to brownstoneworldwide.com and listen to this. A civil rights lesson in a Florida college was canceled following a student complaint. So earlier this month, a student was reportedly disturbed by a Florida college professor's teaching on civil rights, which resulted in the cancellation of the class. Josh Humphreys had to cancel the U.S. government class he was teaching after a student at the Cocoa campus at East Florida State College became uneasy during his civil rights lesson on March 9th. At Eastern Florida State College, according to Associate Vice President John Glish, Mr. Humphreys opted to dismiss class early in order to prevent a disruptive scenario. Humphreys was considered by Glish to have deemed that a prudent move. The lesson circumstances and the student's identity are still not confirmed, but the cancellation of the civil rights discussion caused 15-year-old Jacob Daly, a dual student from Cocoa High, to arrive just in time for the dismissal of about 20 students from the class. According to Daly, the discussion was a general one. Noting his disappointment about missing the class, he said that while he thought there could have been a better method of handling it, he believed the teacher's concerns were valid. According to the teen's father, who is an educator at Cocoa High, he has heard positive feedback about the class and about Humphreys. Similarly, Glish also expressed that Humphreys is an outstanding educator who consistently receives high ratings in surveys related to student satisfaction. So I'd love to know exactly what that course was. Nearly a year after Florida Governor DeSantis, the cancellation of the class takes place. The Stop Woke Act was signed by Ron DeSantis. That's a problem, y'all. And he's another one that needs to get on up out of here. Okay. I'm sorry. He's another one that's got to go. Got to go right now. He's got to go. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. I just think that a lot of these are just unnecessary foolishness and fuckery. I said it just like that. Okay. All right. Now we are headed on to Cullen's Corner Hot Topics, which this week we're talking about body image. Are you happy with your body image, and why is it so important to love you for who you are? All right. So when we look at the world around us, it's easy to see that we're body shaming more than ever, which is amazing to me because just about everybody that I know is what? Talking about having surgery, getting something done to their body. Nobody's excited about being themselves anymore. We all want to look model thin when angles and things of that nature are how we look, the way that we look when we take pictures. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to share a picture with you. This is a photo of me right here. Nice photo. Shout out to Rakaya. So shot by Rakaya actually shot these photos. And we were standing outside. It looks like it's a beautiful day. Y'all, it was about 30 degrees outside. That's number one. Number two, I was sweating. I was having a massive hot flash. Sweat was running down my back. Number three, here's something else you need to know about this photo. She had me to lean forward so that you could see my face, I guess, a little bit better. But I guess these are angles and things like that that are important when we are taking photos, so that you can really get the impact of the photo itself. I'm not a photographer. I don't know how that works. But what I do know is that body image is an issue in this country. And so if you want more information about that particular article, I would encourage you to head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and absolutely check it out. Now, let's get into more news and information that you can use from our news sources. So y'all ready for this? Disney is starting their layoffs, folks. Let's talk about it. So layoffs have actually begun at Disney with their CEO stating in a memo that those impacted by the first set of cuts, they were actually announced in February as part of a $5.5 billion cost-saving overhaul, would be told within the next 4 days. Then the second round will occur in April, and then the third before the summer. So around total 7,000 employees are expected to be affected, spanning roles from Disney theme parks to ESPN. It's the latest in an industry-wide entrenchment as several entertainment giants navigate the tricky and often costly transition to streaming. So Disney also shuttered the small division that was developing metaverse strategies, laying off the 50 or so employees in that department, according to our news sources. Right now, Disney actually employs about 220,000 people worldwide as of October of 2022. So the hard part is that so many different things are happening right now as the industries are changing. More and more companies are starting to do streaming services. More and more companies are starting to rely heavily on content creators like myself and others to provide news and information that you can use, and also to create the content. And so what we are finding is that major companies are experiencing more competition than what they may have actually bargained for. I find that to be very interesting. So I don't think it is an issue of they can't hang, but it really, really is about making sure that they keep more money coming in-house as opposed to not. So it's unfortunate. I was actually on LinkedIn earlier today, and there were several people that's actually being laid off, and they have already found out. And so they're saying, so for their next role, they're looking for a leadership position. They're proud of the impact that they made serving on the leadership team for all of Disney's 2,000 plus women in tech. So here's what I can guarantee you is going to happen. You're going to find more and more people who are a part of your non-revenue earning positions that will be let go of first. Okay, you're going to find more and more of that. So yeah, that unfortunate. And so, prayers out to those folks who are going to have to start looking for other opportunities. It's definitely happening. So let's talk about this one. You ready? Nearly half of all workers in the U.S. have side gigs. Are we surprised? I mean, it's not a big deal, but everybody that I've known for years and years and years literally have always had some kind of side hustle because their main source of income was not enough, right? So I have found that even for myself, when I was working a full-time job, it was better for me to literally have a side hustle so that I could control how much money was being spent in my household as opposed to how much money was being spent out, if that makes sense. So I use my full-time gig to help take care of things like insurance and benefits and dental insurance and vision insurance and things like that, because it helped to offset the cost of things and it helped to pay the larger bills within the household. But then my side gig was something that I used for savings and for emergencies and to pay down debt, those kinds of things, most of which most people are doing anyway. So one job may actually be no longer enough to pay the bills, and nearly half of U.S. employees have a side hustle or source of supplemental income. This is not new news. I don't know where in the world these people get paid to do these unbelievable reports. All you got to do is ask people. And I understand numbers don't lie, but ask us, we'll tell you. So, according to these reports, experience working remotely and flexible post pandemic work schedules have made it possible for a growing number of people to explore alternative income streams. So, the extra earnings, which come from activities including selling used items online and accepting gigs during via tasks or apps like Upwork and TaskRabbit, among other social media platforms as well. Because you got to remember, if you're on social media and you have a business of some sort, you literally can become a millionaire if you work it right. So it actually amounts to, with this many people working their side gigs, $50 million, $50 billion monthly total, of which is actually untaxed if done properly. Now, me, myself personally, I am not going to do that because I am nobody's fool. Listen, Schedule C it is. It's not just lower paid workers who have side gigs. 62% of people earning more than $100,000 a year literally have a side hustle or a supplemental stream of income. Can you blame people? You can't blame people for that. Because what I have learned is these jobs ain't loyal. They're not. And it's not personal. They have to look at their bottom line, just like you have to look for your personal bottom line as well. So it's never personal. Never. It is really about them taking care of their bottom line, because even those people who are at the top, they can be cut loose too. Right? So do keep that in mind when you're out here and you're in your feelings about the kind of work that you're doing and they're letting people go. Always consider this. And I will take this to the bank every single time. This is why I'm not mad when things like that. I have been laid off before. This is not the first time. I was laid off in November, as a matter of fact, from a major corporation. They're looking at their bottom line. They're going to always look for the loose ends and for the things that they believe are not beneficial to the company or where they believe they can save money. I would do the same thing. It ain't personal, honey. This is business. You are a business. Please keep that in mind while you out here in these streets looking for jobs, and then you mad at that employer. You are a business. You are providing a service to the business in exchange for payment for your service. Okay? Always remember that. Don't be loyal to them because they will not be loyal to you. Period. Point blank. Period. Don't get caught in your feelings. It is absolutely business. So if you need to get a side hustle, baby, get a side hustle. Who cares? Do what you got to do when you're doing your side hustle, and do what you got to do when you are handling your business for your employer. Okay? You are a business. Keep that in mind. Okay? And if they are not providing to you all of the things that you need, honey, give them a pink slip. How about that? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That's all I have to say about that. So let's continue to give you more news and information that you can use. Here's what I would encourage you to do right now is, if you are not following us on our Facebook platforms, please feel free to do so at Brownstone Worldwide. Okay, we're over there now. You guys, we got some sales going on right now. If I'm not mistaken, there's one for JCPenney that's on there. You can absolutely see all kinds of discounts and stuff. I know that there are some more that are coming down the pipe. I'm actually looking right now, right? Because I'm not the one who posts. We talk about it in the morning, but then I'm like, okay, well, what's on there today? So yeah. Let's see. Hang tight. Okay. Cullen just posted another one. Is beauty a blessing or a curse? Let's talk about that. All right. Now let's head over to Brownstone Worldwide, which is our Facebook group. We also have a store that's called the Brownstone Corner Store Deals. That is where we share and post things like an anti-scald ceramic brush that actually straightens your hair. That's if you want to, right? Big shout out to all of the people. Welcome to the Brownstone, you guys, who are actually joining us. I'm really, really impressed by you all for joining us and getting more news and information that you can use. But then not also, you're becoming a part of a community that is helping Black and brown and urban individuals continue to tell and change the narrative of how we tell our stories our way. That's what this is really about. We're building out a community of people who are wanting to see things happen the way that, they need to be done. So here's the other thing that we want to make sure that we do is we want to talk about something else that just popped up. Oh my gosh, these stories are coming in hot and heavy and fast. I want to share with you something else that just popped up on Brownstone Worldwide. Y'all, sometimes I don't know what's happening over here. What can be done about the underfunding of land grants for HBCUs by states? Okay, if you want more information about that, go ahead and take a look at Brownstone Worldwide so you can see for yourself what is happening with land grants when it comes to HBCUs. It's a big deal, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing some of this over there on Brownstone Worldwide. I do see that it's here, but the link isn't there. So I'm going to go ahead and share it, okay? So you guys can check it out for sure. All right, what do we have over here in KCCR? So KCCR right now is transitioning back over to talk radio this afternoon. I would encourage you guys, because in about 15 minutes, it's Dr. Michelle Josie with Numbers Don't Lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Make sure that you check it out. It is a big deal. Okay, today she's going to be talking to Atia Brown, who is a CPA consultant, and she's going to help you prepare for what's coming down the pipe when it comes to your taxes as we start to get ready to wrap up the tax season. So really, really good information for you to take a look at. All right, let's talk about something else. This is really interesting. Whew, y'all, it's so much happening. So much happening. Here's what I'm going to encourage you to do. Get into brownstoneworldwide.com. Okay, follow us. Keep up with what we got going on. Jonathan Majors, let's talk about that, y'all. This child. Lord have mercy, what has he done? Jonathan Majors has been arraigned, y'all. According to what his attorney is saying, he is completely innocent of all charges. Let's see. He's been arraigned on charges of arrest. He's been arraigned on charges of harassment and assault. Now, according to some folks on Twitter who know him personally, they're not surprised by this particular event. So actor Jonathan Majors was arraigned in New York City this past Sunday on several charges that he assaulted and harassed a woman the previous day. Majors is currently starring in the film Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Creed 3. In a statement to press sources Tuesday, Majors' defense attorney, Priya Chowdhury, claimed that the woman has taken back her allegations in a written statement and that Majors called 911 himself over the concerns for her mental health. Chowdhury has told multiple other media outlets that Majors is completely innocent of the charges of assault, strangulation, and harassment for which he was arrested in New York City over the past weekend. She's additionally said that forthcoming video and witness statements will clear him of any wrongdoing. So the New York City Police Department responded to a call Saturday morning over a domestic dispute between a 33-year-old male and a 30-year-old woman in the Chelsea neighborhood of Manhattan. Now, at the time, the woman told police she had been assaulted. As of Saturday evening, Majors was no longer in police custody and had been released on bail. So what has recently happened is this young man has been enjoying a big publicity push. Okay. And so normally what happens around this time, you know, we see a lot of dirt start coming out on folks. Right. And so not sure what the whole thing of that is about, but I definitely wanted to let you guys fully know about how this is impacting people when we, first of all, we're not telling the truth and we are waiting until someone has their big moment. Now, that doesn't absolve people from, you know, their responsibility and doing the things that they're supposed to be doing. And that's do right by folks, right? That doesn't absolve people of that. But what it does do is it opens up our eyes to how the press works. There's new information that just came out this morning on Lori Harvey being hired to date certain people to increase their visibility on social media. We're going to be sharing some information with that, with you guys about that a little bit later on in the day. And I definitely wanted to share that with you all. Now, what I'm trying to do now is wrap up where we currently are, because I definitely wanted to make sure that you have that wiggle room to get ready for Dr. Michelle Josie this afternoon with Numbers Don't Lie, okay? If you missed any of our shows from yesterday, please know that they are currently available on brownstoneworldwide.com/BWTV and also on YouTube. Where? Brownstone Worldwide. Where else? Okay. All right. So let's get into some more news and information that we can use. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to start wrapping it up. Okay. So let's get started here. Let's see. Hang tight. I just froze. There we go. So I'm unfrozen now. All right. So before we wrap up, I definitely wanted to let you guys know that the April edition of Brownstone Living magazine will drop over, let's see, I'm going to say, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to drop on April 5th, I think. I'm not sure. We're trying to get it out sooner, but because of the bereavement in my family, we are going to probably slow down just a little bit so that I can take a final look at it. Cullen can take a final look at it. We can do all of the things that we need to do, but just know that you can actually get your final copy. This copy is going to into the archives, folks. So what you need to do is to go ahead and get your copy now, okay? And get ready to subscribe to Brownstone Living magazine. How do you do that? By going to bit.ly/Brownstone Living March preview. What that's going to do is take you to Brownstone Living magazine. And we actually have a page where you can literally see all of the magazine. You can only see like 15 pages, right? But then you can subscribe. And guys, it's only $5.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. You don't have to remain a part of the program if you don't want to, but it's really cool because there are exclusive pieces that you're going to get in there that are not a part of Brownstone Worldwide or a part of KCCR, the Brownstone. In addition to, we have some new things that are coming your way to help you make some money. So we're really excited about that. We're going to be sharing that over the next couple of weeks as well. All right, folks, I'm going to wrap up my time here so that you guys can take a little break and get ready for Dr. Michelle Josie with Numbers Don't Lie. And then this particular broadcast will be available via Spotify, Brownstone Worldwide on YouTube, as well as KCCR the Brownstone later on this afternoon for you to view and review again. If you would like to, let us know that you were here. If you missed this particular broadcast, by going over and letting us know in the comments, replay. Let us know your thoughts, tell us your comments, and let us know what else you would like to see in the Brownstone, okay? So one last thing before we go is I want to definitely let you know that KCCR Radio, the Brownstone, is wrapping up. So I think we've kind of hit where we're going to hit in terms of KCCR Radio air personalities. So we're really excited about that. We're going to start with another small group of folks, and then we're going to begin to expand in Q3. We've got Brownstone Podcast University that is coming. Oh, I let that slip on purpose. Okay. More on that later. If you would like to be placed on the waiting list for KCCR, all you have to do is go to bit.ly/KCCR wait list. Yes, that means that you're going to get some education. You're going to learn some things that you may not have known about podcasting that some folks are not going to tell you, but I will. And we're talking about learning how to provide that quality content and all of the things that you definitely need to know. Okay. All right, you guys, 3 things that I always like to tell everyone before we end every single broadcast that I'm a part of and that I host. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest because you only get one. You embrace every moment that you have while you are here. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. All right, you guys, I will see you on another edition of The Day Shift with me, your girl Paulette. That will be tomorrow. See you later.